So I'm Amanda and I am one of the instructors with the studio. Today we are going to make a donut stuffie. So if you have your kit, then you should have different pieces of felt. So you should have one that's just one color and then two that are the same color. So that's what I have here. You should also have some pins and, two more things. Your pattern piece. So this, I do not have a printer at my house, so I decided to just draw one. Clearly I'm not an artiste, but it's gonna be real cute when it's done. And then the other thing you should have is stuffing to make your stuffie, your little donut stuffie. I'm really excited for it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is you're going to take your paper pattern. If you want to draw this, you can. If you want to also just print it out, your kit should have came with a printable PDF. So you print that out and then you will take that and pin it to, so remember how earlier I said that you should have two separate pieces. So one is one color and this one is the same. So these are for your main donut and this one is for your icing. So we're not gonna play with the icing just yet. We are going to use the two that you have, so 1 and 2. You're gonna place those together and then you're going to take your paper pattern, place it on top, and you're going to pin it. I'm going to pin it. I'm gonna pin a few and then I'm gonna show you how to pin it. So I just pinned one of them. So as you can see, there's one pin right there. How you do this is you'll place it on a flat surface and you will press in and then you press up. So that way it's on there. But mine's looking it should be nice and flat. There we go. So I'm gonna do one more right over here, and this is just so I know that my paper and my felt aren't moving. So here we go. Okay, so now I have 3 pins. If you feel like you need more, you can, but I feel like that's enough. The biggest thing that you want to make sure when you're pinning is that it's inside of what you're about to cut out. So see how I don't have a pin out here? I don't have a pin that's on this line. It's all in the inside because what I want is this donut shape, this circle. Okay, so now that that's all pinned, I am going to take my fabric scissors, which are right here. So you always want to have scissors that you only use for fabric. I also have these pairs that are for our paper scissors. So I only use these on paper. The tricky thing with this right now is that I am cutting out both paper and fabric. I am going to use my fabric scissors in this instance, and that's okay. The main thing, the reason why you use 2 different scissors is so that they stay sharp. When you start using them with different materials, then they dull more easily. So now I am just going to cut around my circle line. Not my icing line, my circle line. And you should be cutting both pieces, okay? Here we go. Okay, so I just cut that. I'm gonna take off the pins so you can see. Ooh, you know what we do need to do? We'll do that in a second. Okay. So, I now have a circle. I have 2 circles actually. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is I am going to, with my paper scissors, so I'm gonna fold this in half. So the next thing that I wanna do is I'm gonna cut out this circle in the middle. So that way it's more like a donut. So it looks like my circle was kind of off. As you can see, there's more on this side than there is on this side. So I'm just gonna cut it right now. I'm gonna use my paper scissors. I'm going to make a slit right there in the middle. I'm going to open this up and then I'm going to cut on the inside of that. So just gonna cut right around that little hole that I had already drawn. It's not gonna be beautiful, but it's gonna look real cute when it's all done. Okay, so made that hole. Now I'm gonna place that back on to my fabric, and I'm actually gonna draw that. I'm gonna draw that on there. So I'm gonna get a pen real quick. Okay, so using this pen, I am going to just draw a circle onto my felt. Well, at least I think I am, if it's going to work. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I just drew that little circle. It is a little off. It's okay. And then I'm gonna do the same thing that I did last time. I'm gonna fold that in half. And then I'm gonna now use my fabric scissors, and I'm going to make a slit. And then I'm going to open that back up and cut around the circle in the center. So that's all I'm doing, just cutting around. Again, my circle is not in the center. If you cut out the PDF, it'll be in the center. It was just because I drew it quickly. Okay, so I did that with one, and now I'm going to do it with the second one. So I drew it. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to make a slit and cut around that circle. By now you should kind of have the hang of it. Also realizing my room is a mess. I've been making masks for lots of days now, for different people that need them or have been ordering them. And so there's just stuff everywhere. Okay. Okay. I have my hole. Can you guys see my eye? It's kind of creepy. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do. So those should match up. Let's see if I can get them exactly. Oh yeah. So this is both of them, and they match up. Okay. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out our icing. Okay. So take your pattern piece, and I am using. I think I'm using green. I didn't really want to use green, but that's what I have. Okay. Oh wait, no, the orange. Oh, there it is. Okay, we have the orange. I am going to place my paper pattern on top, and now I'm going to pin on the inside of the icing. So not on this outside, only on the inside, okay? And I go ahead and do that. And at the same time, I am going to draw my circle in the center. So remember this circle, I'm going to draw that with my pen. So that way I can cut that out as well. And if you need some help with pinning, it's definitely something that takes a lot of time for your fingers to get used to. So don't stress out about it. But the biggest thing that you want to make sure of is that they are pinned on the inside, and you can see these little dots. Oh wait, there it is. Dot, dot, dot. This is just a thread. You can see that it's literally just poked down and up. Okay? So it's not only poked. So sometimes something that I see people do is they pin it like this. So it's only down. And then the rest of the pin is on this side. And that's not gonna help me. Like, this is coming off already, okay? So you wanna make sure that once you go down, you bring it back up. Okay, Next thing we're going to do is with our fabric scissors cut around the squiggly line. Okay, so I just cut that out. I didn't draw my circle, so I'm going to do that right now. Kind of looks like an orange egg. It's kind of funny. Okay, so I just drew my circle. I'm taking off my pins. So that's my little circle. Oh, it looks like a cute little flower. Okay, I'm going to fold it again in half, like that. I'm going to take my fabric scissors. Ouch. And I'm going to clip it in the center, just like before. And then just cut all around. Okay, I did that circle. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is, now we are going to do some sprinkles. So the first thing we need to do is line up so we're only taking one of our donuts and our icing and placing it on top. And we just need to line those holes up. And then I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin that down. And I put about 3 pins, just like before. Okay, so cute. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand needle. I forgot to say that earlier. That should have definitely been a part of your kit. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay. So, this is my hand sewing needle, okay? It has a pretty big eye. I'm just gonna move this, okay? So, this is the eye of your needle. This is the tip of your needle. This is the part that goes in the fabric. This is where your thread will go. So, I'm gonna show you one way. So, I'm gonna do 3 different colors for my sprinkles. I think I'm gonna do purple, pink, and this yellow. So I'm gonna do purple, pink, and yellow. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, if it's, I'm not sure, yours should just have string, so you wouldn't have those, so that doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a piece. I'm gonna do it about as long as my arm. So see, I'm just measuring it out as long as my arm. I'm gonna cut it with my fabric scissors. And so there are 6 strands in here, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and separate these strands. And the way that I separate them is, well, I just try and find the 3. So now I've found the 3. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay. And then I'm going to slowly separate them. If you go quickly, it is going to knot up. So do not go quickly. See how it's already making that kind of, it's making like a knot right now? So something that you can do is you can put your thread in between your legs and hold it tight so that way it comes out. Another thing you can do is you can ask a friend to hold the end of it, and that will help as well. So I'm just holding it in between my legs, and now they are separated. So now we have 2 long pieces. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut off a little bit of the tip so that way it's nice and strong. My fingers are very close to the end of this. They're not all the way over here, because then I don't really have control of that, okay? The closer you get, the easier it'll be. So I'm going to thread my needle. That's all I did. And now, see how we have two threads? What I am going to do is I'm only going to knot at one end, okay? So the way that I make my knots is I make a circle. So just like that, that's a little circle. And then I tuck that other end underneath and pull it through. Again, I'm gonna do this 3 times because I want there to be a big knot right there. I made my circle, I'm tucking it underneath and pulling it through. So see how that didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I'm gonna do it again and hope that it lands right there, see? And now we are good. So I'm gonna chop that end off. And now I have this longer piece, well, this longer piece that has my knot, and then this shorter piece that does not. And that's gonna be because then we'll just have a longer piece to work with. So next thing I'm gonna do is make my sprinkles. So I'm just going to go, so this is the front of our project, and this is the back. This is the inside. From the inside, I'm going to just pick any spot to start. I'm gonna poke through. I'm gonna pull it all the way until my knot hits the back. So see how my knot hit back? Okay, and then I'm just gonna make little sprinkles. And so when I say that, you're just gonna make a line. So I'm going to choose to go right there. I'm gonna pull it, and there's my first sprinkle. And then I'm gonna choose another spot. So I'm just gonna go anywhere on the back, kind of looking at the front as well to like decide where I wanna go next. So I decided to go right here. This is my first sprinkle. Here's my second. I'm gonna pull that through. So one thing that you don't wanna do is pull it completely. See how that just gathered that up? This is what it looks like on the back. You don't want that. You want it to lay nice and flat, okay? So I'm gonna do another sprinkle there. And I'm just gonna keep doing lots. So the biggest thing is you do not wanna go from the front to the back, because then, like, look at that. That's gonna end up, I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna mess up. But don't go from the front to the back. Always go from the back to the front. Gonna do another sprinkle. Okay. So just go ahead and do that. The whole, all around. Okay. So my thread is about, I don't know, like 7 or so inches. I'm going to knot it off now because I feel like this is a pretty good time to stop. So, the way that I'm going to knot this off is this is the back. So look how crazy that looks, but look at how cute the front looks, okay? So I'm gonna do 2 more colors, so it's okay. So the next thing we're gonna look at the back. And the way that we're gonna do this is we're going to grab a little bit of the felt, okay? And then, see how there's this hole right here? There's a hole right here. So we're gonna pull that through. And then, see, there's a hole right there. We're just gonna poke it through that hole. And then you just pull this right through. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. So again, grabbing just a little bit of the felt. And there's a hole right here. We're gonna go through that hole. So I'm gonna pull it through and then go through that hole. And then just pull it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and chop that off. Okay, we're done with this color. We're gonna go on to the next color. I am using purple next. Again, I'm gonna do it as long as my arm. Going to cut it. So, remember, we're gonna separate these now. And yours might already be separated. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm pulling it slowly. Okay, separated. I'm gonna, remember, get really, really close. And oh, sometimes that happens too. So I'm just going to grab my scissors, chop that off so it's nice and clean. And remember, just get as close as you can. Pull that through. You should have a long piece just like this. Now we're gonna knot off the longer end, a circle, tucking it under, pulling it through. Again, circle, tucking it under, pulling it through. 2, we're gonna do one more. Cool. Okay, so you should have your longer end and your shorter end is right there. And again, we're just gonna do the same thing. Fine. Oh, and by the way, we can take off our pins now because it's already secured on there. And I'm gonna start with my purple sprinkles. Okay, so this is what my purple's looking like. And this is about how long that I have left. So now I'm gonna go ahead and knot this off, again in the same way. Going to grab a little bit of the felt, going to pull it through until my tail comes through. So remember my tail, this is my tail, make sure that comes through. And then you're going to pull it under that hole, tie it, oh, it kind of, it's okay. We're gonna do that again. Okay, grab some fabric, some felt, and then right inside of that circle. And that's what we're gonna do. Oh, it looks crazy. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and chop that off. We have this leftover. I'm going to take that out, and I'm gonna do my final color, which is the pink. I'm gonna make it as long as my arm. Chop that up. You do not have to do 3 colors as well. Okay, so again, putting that through. Straighten this out. There we go. Okay, and at the longer end, I am going to make a knot. So it's a circle, and then inside of the circle, pull through. Again, circle, tucking under. We're gonna do one more. Perfect. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is do our pink sprinkles. I'm gonna start right here. Pull it all the way through. Remember, here's the knot. Can't really see it, it's a lighter color, but you get the point. Okay, so I think I'm done with my sprinkles. I'm going to knot it off in the same way, grabbing some thread, some fabric, pulling it through. There is a hole, so we're gonna go underneath the hole, pulling it through. I'm gonna do another one. Okay. Okay, so now we have the front side of our donut. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a blanket stitch, and I'll show you how to do that, around the outside of both, okay? So, we have our 2 pieces, we have our front and our back. We're gonna line these up. So now they're lined up. So this is them not lined up, this is them lined up, okay? That's that. We're gonna go around the outside. I'm gonna do the pink. I like the way the pink looks. No, I'm gonna use the purple because then you guys will be able to see it a little bit better. So I'm gonna take my needle, I'm gonna take the pink out. I'm gonna thread. So remember earlier when I separated those two pieces? I now have a piece right here that's already separated. Okay. So I'm going to chop off a little bit because it's a little uneven. I am going to thread my needle with all three of those. Remember, get really, really, really close. Okay, that's all threaded. Now I'm going to take the longer end. I'm going to knot it. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So, to connect these, actually, we're gonna do the center first, okay, this little center piece. So, the way that we do this, so I'm gonna open these up, okay, and I'm gonna put my, let's see. So I want my knot to be on the inside so you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to open it up, and this is the back piece, okay? This is the back piece. I'm going to place it right there, okay? And I'm gonna pull it through. So this is the back, and see how you can't see the knot? The knot is in the inside right there. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do is, so a blanket stitch is quite easy, but you have to pay attention. So the way that we're gonna do a blanket stitch is we're gonna go from, so we're grabbing all 3 layers, okay? So there's the icing, there's the front donut, and then there's the back donut. We're going through all 3 layers. Something to help you will be to pin them all together while you're doing this. So I'm gonna pin mine together. And that way they don't move. They stay exactly where you want them to be. It's just a good practice to get into. So, doesn't matter where you pin them. Okay, so I just pinned them. I pinned one right here, one right here, one right here. Okay, so my needle is at the back right now. This is where my thread is. Okay. And the way that we do this is we are gonna go, we're gonna poke it through the hole, okay, so poking it through the hole, and we are going to poke right next to where the hole was, okay, so see how it's like very close to it? So I'm going to poke, so now I've poked it through the back. And then the next thing, before you pull it all the way through, is there is a hole here. You want to put your needle through that hole and pull through. So I'm going to do this again so you can kind of see, but this is what it should look like. It's a little difficult to completely see right like that, but okay. So again, we're gonna go from the front to the back. So see how I just pinned that? Oh, it's a little difficult to see. Okay, and then when I pull it through, there's a hole. There's a hole right there. See that hole? I'm gonna put my needle through that, pull and pull through. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. I am going to, so I'm staying on the back, okay? I am going to poke from the front to the back. So see that? My needle, so I literally just brought my needle through the hole right next to that last one that I did. Okay, now it's on the back. I'm gonna pull it through. And there's a hole right here. See that? And I'm gonna pull it through. So I'm just gonna do that all the way around the circle. Poking it through. It came out a little funky, but that's kind of the gist of it. So then on the back, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to grab some fabric, pull it through, and make that knot. Hope that made sense. We're going to do that one more time. Grabbing that fabric, pulling it through, and you have your knot. Okay, go ahead and chop that off. So I'm going to show you, this is what the back looks like. This is what the front looks like. Mine came out a little messy, but that's okay. Your goal is that you want all of these to line up, and mine didn't line up too much, but that's okay. Okay, the next thing, we're going to go all the way around the front, or all the way around the circle. So I'm going to pull this, okay, and I need to knot this off because I cut off my knot. Okay, we can take, we'll leave the pins on. Okay, you can start anywhere you'd like. I am going to just start right here. I'm going to put my knot on the inside. So I want the knot to be on the inside. It doesn't matter where you start. And now I'm just going to do the same thing. Okay, so now you should have pretty much the whole ways around. I still have my needle and thread in, okay, but now we need to leave a little opening so that way we can stuff our donut. Okay, so just go ahead and put down your needle so it doesn't get lost. And then you're just gonna take your stuffing, and I'm gonna kind of fluff it out and stuff it. I'm just gonna keep on moving it till it gets to, okay. So this is what mine's looking like right now. You can put more in, you can put less in, it's up to you, but I like the way that mine is looking right now. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on with my blanket stitch. And now you should have a cute little donut. See, that was all the edges. It's all done. You can kind of move around your stuffing too.